What up, it's Yelawolf, Catfish Billy, kicking it in Greensboro, North Carolina with my girl, Miss Ed. We'll holler at you. Good to go, good to go, good to go, good to go. Fresh kicks all day, new fits all right, drop hits all day, in the morning all night.
What's up, everybody? You tuned in to Miss L's and How's My Rolling? I'm here with my man, Yelawolf.
What up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Are you under 21?
Yes.
I see. That's what the X is about.
Yeah,
How old are
unfortunately.
you?
How old do you think I am? Take a guess.
20.
20. Close. Very close.
19?
Yes.
That's a business early.
Yep. I don't know what's that. Yeah. Alright, so enough about me, more about you. Can you give us a brief rundown of your journey into the music game?
Yeah, I mean, I started off, as a skateboarder, just freestyling, writing raps, growing up and with my homies and shit in the South, from Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. And, I was in pursuit of a skateboarding career or finding work in the skateboard industry. And just my passion for music just grew and outgrew my passion for skateboarding. And so, I mean, I just decided, pretty much in 2000 that it's something that I wanted to just go for real. And, I hustled and worked really hard and learned more and more about myself over time and fell down a million times, got back up a million times over and kept working and working. And, in 07, pretty much I signed my first deal in Columbia and we rode that out for like 6 months and then we left as Ghetto Vision. I'm sorry, I signed my first deal with Ghetto Vision and we signed Ghetto Vision together into Columbia and we left Columbia as Ghetto Vision. We worked for the past couple of years and now we signed up with Interscope. So it's been, a hard hustle.
So you need an Interscope. What can you tell us? What's next?
Next project to come out is called Trump Music 0 to 16. When I signed to Interscope, we signed with Trump Music under our belt when we were doing shows, which is a mixtape I dropped with DJ Burn One, produced by Super Hot Beats and Get Up Vision. And we put that out in January, and it started doing well online. So we started doing shows, and we hopped on tour with Wiz Khalifa, and then we did South by Southwest, South by Southwest, which is a music conference. And after South by Southwest, we signed our deal with Interscope. So now, not to overshadow what Trump Music, has done, we're gonna distribute Trump Music 0 to 16, which is basically taking like 5 of the fan favorites off of Trump Music and putting them on 0 to 16 and adding like about 6 to 7 brand new records for people, to be international. My first internationally distributed project.
And how important is a mixtape to artists' career? Because it's a lot of controversy over that.
I think it's becoming less important because of the style of mixtape that took over for a while. There was a certain style of mixtape that had tons of drops and DJs talking and horn sounds and rappers rapping over jacked beats, and that's kind of like just slowly become less and less relevant, and artists are starting to put out projects that sound more
like
original. Trump Music only had one record. It really couldn't even be, it could still be, claimed as me being part of it, but it was a mixing up of medicine. It was the only record we took from outside that was already out and put it on Trump Music. Everything else was completely original, So it's a street album, for real. It's not a mixtape as most would expect.
Now, with the internet being so big these days, how do you focus on your audience that isn't really big on computers? Because I feel like a lot of artists get a lot of internet hype and then, they lose track of the rest of the people.
Yeah, I think, if any artist represents that group of people, it's me. Because in Alabama, even in my neighborhood, kids don't have computers like that. And even when they do have computers, they're not sitting around on computers all day, or not everybody's got iPhones and Blackberries. It's just not that common, And I would assume that most small towns, like my small town, all across America, are dealing with the same thing. being that they're working class people, they got jobs, you know, they work 9 to 5, they come home, they're tired, they're not online, work fucking around, you know what I'm saying? They're getting up and going to work, and I mean, you really got to pay attention to that still, because I don't know what the statistics are, but last I heard, it was like 80% of the country, some crazy shit still don't have computers like that, you know? Like it's crazy, some statistic is crazy. But so those people are important to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean that's really who I am. I don't even have a working home computer. Like my shit's crashed and done. Like it's been done for like 3 months. And because we're never home and we don't bother with it, we ain't even worried about getting it fixed. So I mean like even I represent it, you know. My cousins, they don't have computers like that. So.
Well, I mean, like the blogs, they can only take you so far. It's a good start, but how do you connect to those people?
Shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up off of live shows, and I think there's no better way to connect to people than to be live. You know, you can't download a live performance. You can't experience that on a computer. You can't download a T-shirt, an autograph, a handshake, a conversation. You can't experience that on computers.
I feel like hip-hop is losing a lot of that experience because there's so much of the emphasis put on the internet and blogs and websites.
I think hip-hop along with rock and pop and, you know, every genre of music is suffering somewhat from it. Hip-hop is probably primarily suffering from it, you know, based on just the oversaturation of hip-hop that's online right now, you know. But I can see a rebirth of shows happening just from touring with Wiz. You know, all of these shows have been sold out. So it's just like proving that people want to come out and see a show. And I just got back from Soundset, which is another hip hop festival, where it was just like, it was unreal. Like hip hop is still huge, you know what I'm saying? It's not no joke. It's still super relevant. People are still, you know, excited about coming to see people.
So let me ask you this, after touring and, you know, doing shows, what's the craziest thing that you've yet to experience?
What's the craziest thing I've yet to experience? Or were you asking what is the craziest thing I've ever seen?
Yeah, the craziest thing that you've experienced, the craziest thing that you've seen.
We did this show the other night, where were we? The rave. We were at Baltimore at this rave. What was the name of the rave though? Stargaze or something? It was a rave that I performed with DJ Clever and Craze, and there was some dude strapped down to a chair surrounded by medics, and he thought he was a cup of orange juice or something. He had taken too much acid. He was screaming ice cold. I mean, really, that's the craziest shit I've seen so far. Strapped down, his head was strapped down, his shoulders, his feet, and he was screaming ice cold.
What were you thinking when you saw that?
I mean, I was just getting prepared to do my performance. I was trying to ignore it, but
did it throw you off?
Nah, I mean, you know, it just, you know, put me in defense mode. It's hard to fight somebody who's on dust. You know?
Well, you mentioned that you were actually looking to be a pro skateboarder. So, how do you think your life would have been different if you would have went that route? Do you think you could have been as successful as you are in music, or?
Nah, definitely not. I started skateboarding really young, and my passion for music just outgrew skateboarding. So I kept getting hurt over and over again, and my homies that were more talented as skateboarders were excelling, and I could see, you know. So I just tried to play it smart and realize, you know, what talents I had that I can make a living at. You know what I'm saying? Because skateboarding is insanely hard to make a living at. You know what I'm saying? So just respectably, I just stepped back, even though I still skate and I love skateboarding, and I'll always be a skateboarder. But you know, as a career, it's not for me.
I couldn't help but notice your tattoo label. What does that mean?
This is Yelawolf. It's one of the first tattoos I ever got. I've got a lot. Back home, it says hard work with money coming out the pipes. Hard work pays. It's a buck. It's an iconic image from Alabama, and it's also a part of my logo. Can't fish because I live on the coast of Alabama. I mean, I got a lot of stuff.
Alright, well, you tune in to MissEls.net, housemindrolling.net with my man Yelawolf. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good luck.